Hey there everybody, it's Mr. Lewis. In this video I'm going to teach you how to add a handle and a sprig mold and some Sgraffito to one of your projects. There's my sketch. Let's get started. Previously I had made a video about how to roll a slab, use a template, and cut that shape out of the clay so that you can create a simple cylinder for a mug or a cup. That's the cylinder that I'm cleaning up right now. I'm kind of shaving off a little bit of the extra clay at the base. Once I do this, I'm going to take some time to clean it up and smooth it with a sponge. I might also take a little bit of time to even out the rim a little bit. You might see me use this yellow handled tool that's called a rasp. It kind of shaves the clay down and makes little shreds so you can really control how much you're taking away. There I am using it right there. Whenever I do use a tool like a rasp or a blade, I end up taking the time to smooth out the marks from the tool. That makes your project look a lot nicer and gets you more craftsmanship points. Wow, so smooth! Now that my cylinder is smooth and cleaned up, I'm going to make a handle for it. I'm going to start by rolling a simple coil, controlling how thick I want the clay to be, and cutting away the pieces that I don't want to use. I like my handles to be delicate and comfortable, so I actually roll the coil pretty thin and then I tap it on the table until I get a flat side for both the inside and outside of the handle. I take my time shaping it and getting it ready to attach to the mug body. When I am done and satisfied with the handle shape and size, then I will grab some tools like slip and a scoring tool, maybe even a paintbrush so that I can get my handle attached. I line up the location of my handle placement before I score and add some slip and then try to stick it on as nice and neat as I can. The handle right now is a little soft and that's okay because it gives me time to make sure that the attachment points are nice and clean and smoothed out. If my handle is nice and clean and placed in the right location, I can hit it with a hairdryer to stiffen it up a little bit faster than air drying. Now that my handle's attached, I'm going to start working on the sprig mold. I chose the Egyptian themed sprig mold and I'm going to attach a tiny little scarab to the front of my mug. I carefully push the clay into the sprig mold and then I attach a little handle to the back of the clay in the sprig mold and pull that clay out as carefully as I can. Here's my scarab. My little sculptural attachment's cleaned up and ready to attach, so I'm going to score and add some slip to the back of it, and I'm also going to score on the mug where I stick it. I'm going to take my time attaching it so that I don't smash any of the details. I also want to clean up the surface where I have attached it, smoothing out any scoring marks. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit and make sure that I have all of the details of my scarab, there it is, smoothed out around it and those places where my handle's attached. So forgive me for showing you all this, but I think it's nice to see how deliberate I am. You can take your time and make your project nice and neat like I'm trying to do right here. Now that my sprig mold is attached and my handle's attached, I'm going to start using some underglaze to prepare for the Sgraffito technique. I'm going to paint the scarab orange, and I try to do a couple of layers of underglaze here. Sometimes it's helpful if you use a hairdryer to blow dry each layer and get each layer dry before using more underglaze to make another layer. After I've applied 2 layers of underglaze to the scarab in that orange color, I'm going to start applying black underglaze to the rest of the mug body and the handle. When my first layer of black is dry, I go back and do a second layer, making sure that everything looks nice and evenly applied. Don't forget to screw the lids onto your underglaze containers, please. If you get any underglaze on places that you don't want, you should be able to wipe it right off. Now that my underglaze is applied, I have let my mug get to the leather hard stage and started the Sgraffito technique, but I want to video a little bit more of it so you can kind of see it in action. There are a couple important tools to use. This is a simple needle tool with a larger handle. When you use a needle tool to do Sgraffito, you get fine, delicate lines, but you kind of have to clear out the lines of the little crumbs of clay. Here I am using it on a few extra places around the wings. Needle tools are nice if you want delicate lines, but if you'd like to carve deeper or wider lines, you can use different types of loop tools, kind of like these right here. Some loops have 2 sides with different sized loops. Some of them are super duper tiny, hard to see, kind of like this one right here. The metal-handled carving tools have different shapes on the end that allow you to carve deeper, wider lines. If you're nervous about carving freehand, you can use a pencil and draw on the surface of your underglaze before you carve. It might help you feel more confident in what you're doing before you really can't take it back. For these mountains underneath my winged scarab, I'm going to first carve the thin line along the top edge of the mountains with a small pointed loop tool. And then I'm going to go back in on some of the highlights where the sun is hitting the surface of the mountains and carve a slightly wider line using one of the metal handled loop tools. Here I go. Sometimes it's the right tool for the right job. Thanks for watching my video about handles, sprig molds, and the Sgraffito technique.